brachial plexus. Which root? At the first, we remember the root. Which root are going to form C5, C6, C7, C8, T1? For the brachial plexus, the T12 and the C4 also has some connection, has some fiber. So C5, C6, C7, C8, T8, they are the main root. C5 receives some branch from the C4. T1 receives some branch from T2. Okay? The C5 and the C6 join to each other and makes the upper limb. C7 make the middle trunk, and the C8 and T1 join to each other and make the lower trunk. So these are the root. Here is the trunk: upper trunk or superior trunk, middle trunk, lower trunk or inferior trunk. Lower trunk is going to be formed by connection of the C8 and the T1. The middle trunk belongs to the C7, and the upper trunk is the connection of the C5 and C6. And we know the C5 receives some branch from the C4. And we know the T1 also receives some branch from the T2. So upper trunk, middle trunk, and lower trunk. Each of them divide to two branches, anterior and posterior. Anterior and posterior. Anterior and posterior. All of this posterior from the upper trunk, middle trunk, lower trunk join to each other and make the posterior cord. Do you get that? All of the posterior branch belong to the upper trunk, middle trunk, and inferior trunk or lower trunk join to each other and make the posterior cord. The anterior branch from the upper limb make the lateral cord. The anterior branch from the lower limb make the medial cord. So lateral cord, posterior cord, medial cord. Okay? Now these two join to each other to make the lateral cord. Excuse me, I make mistake here. The anterior branch of the C7 join to the anterior branch from the upper limb to be able to make for you the lateral cord, the posterior cord and the medial cord. Okay? Now, from the lateral cord, we have three branches. A branch that we call the lateral pectoral, a branch that we call musculocutaneous, lateral pectoral, and here it is lateral root of the median. About the medial cord, we have 5 branches. Do you remember? What's the name of these 5 branches? Medial pectoral, again, medial cutaneous of the arm, medial cutaneous of the forearm. So medial cutaneous of the arm, medial cutaneous of the forearm, and ulnar. Okay? And medial root of the median. Means median is going to be formed from a branch from the lateral cord and a branch from the medial cord. So how many branches is here? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many branches here? 3. 1, 2, 3. Now about the posterior cord, you have again 5 branches. What's the name of this first branch? You should remember the last branch we call the radial. This radial is the largest, is the thickest nerve between all of the nerve in brachial plexus. Radial belong to the posterior cord. And here you have a branch you call axillary. Do you remember? Axillary nerve. It is a branch that belongs to the posterior cord. And here I am able to show you 3 branches. The upper subscapular nerve, upper subscapular nerve, lower subscapular nerve, and here is thoracodorsal. Now please remember 3, 5, 5. 3 is going to remember you the third branch from the lateral cord. 5, 5 is going to remember you 5 branch from the posterior cord, 5 branch from the medial cord. Now you can complete this. For example, for the upper trunk, you have branch that is going to subclavius, okay? And here you have a branch that is going to innervate the long thoracic, but the main is here. Now you can draw better. You can add some another nerve to this painting. Now come here. Okay.